Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games so that you can look really clever in front of your friends. In today's video we hunt some familiar faces in Dead by Daylight, we witness a very hungry zombie in Zombie Army 4 Dead War, and we fail to follow the simplest of instructions in Call of Duty Warzone. As always, if you think you know of a detail that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments section or on my social media accounts. The links, as always, are in the description. Oh, and leaving a like on any of my videos always makes me that little bit happier. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So let's begin with one of my favourite games of 2020. Zombie Army 4 has been a regular on this channel over the past year, but that was mainly for its Easter eggs, which are some of the best around. Well, the detail that I found whilst playing Zombie Army 4 can actually be seen on one of the downloadable levels. During the Damnation Valley level, you can spot this. So this zombie is so hungry that he's decided that a rat seems like a tasty snack, though it doesn't seem he's making much progress. This isn't the only example of a zombie craving some rat meat. In the same level, you can also find this. I mean, the first zombie was actually pretty close to the rat, but I think that this zombie is going to be hungry for a while yet. So I'm sure that a lot of you are pretty competent Warzone players. You know the best guns, locations and loadouts to give yourselves the best chances of winning. Well, for the rest of you, and that's me included, you can partake in some training before entering Verdansk. The training begins with a tutorial on how to use armor plates, a pretty important tip. Well, if for some reason you just can't seem to work out how to pick up the armor plates, your instructor will say this.
Pick up the armor. Grab some armor plates. Are you daft? Armor plates, pick them up. You can do this, mate. I believe in you. Grab the armor plates. I am incredibly patient. I can literally wait forever until you pick up that armor.
Up next is a very small detail from the excellent Resident Evil 7. Well, it's either a detail or just a really strange coincidence. In Resident Evil Village, Mia and Ethan Winters have a daughter called Rose. Well, if you pause Resident Evil 7, you can see that the options on the pause screen actually spell out Rose. Now of course, Rose hadn't been born yet during the events of Resident Evil 7. I personally don't think that this is a coincidence, but just because I think that doesn't mean it isn't one. But what do you guys think? Was this intentional or not? Let me know in the comments. Next up is another really cool Mastercraft weapon from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This time it's the nuclear distillery shotgun that, when inspected, does this. So it does feel like the Mastercraft weapons are getting crazier and crazier, and as much as I hate to admit it, I am pretty excited to see what they come up with next. So Unfortunate Spacemen is a multiplayer game where you play as a spaceman who must defend outposts from aliens, though not everyone is who they say they are. It definitely has Among Us vibes, but to write it off as a clone would be doing it a disservice, as it does a lot of cool things that Among Us doesn't do. Now the detail in question from Unfortunate Spacemen can be found during the tutorial. After crossing the space station's frosty exterior, you're rewarded by being allowed to stare at a gold bar. Well, if you become so infatuated by the gold bar that you're unable to move, the instructor will say things like this.
Congratulations! You have successfully crossed the uninhabitable wastes. This solid gold bar represents your financial security. And no, you can't remove it from the glass casing. And you can't take it with you. You should leave now. Stop staring at the gold bar. You know you're not gonna make that much money, right? In fact, you'll probably die before you're able to even make a fraction of what that costs. Seriously though, you should leave. I think you have a problem. I I can be here as long as you are. You see, unlike you, I actually get paid to sit here. Stop staring at the gold bar.
So this next detail contains potential spoilers for The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. So if you plan on playing that season of Telltale's The Walking Dead, then I suggest skipping to the time on screen. So one of the cool features found in the Walking Dead Definitive Edition was the character viewer. This cool extra allowed you to take a closer look at all of the characters featured in every season of the game. Perhaps even cooler, each character has some pre-selected voice lines that they can say. Well, one of A New Frontier's characters, Conrad, has a pretty fourth wall breaking line that he would like to share.
Staying alive, staying alive. Woo! Hey, I know it wasn't easy to keep me around, but to that small percentage of you who did, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're awesome.
So this line is actually referencing the fact that keeping Conrad alive during A New Frontier was pretty tough, but for those that did, he would like to say thank you. Now recently, a Resident Evil pack was added to Dead by Daylight. Featuring fan favourite characters such as Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine, the pack also added the iconic Raccoon City Police Department as a playable map. Oh, and they also added the Nemesis from Resident Evil 3, allowing you to rewrite history and finally take out those pesky STARS team members. Well, something that's really cool can be seen when pulling survivors out of a cupboard. Here is how the Nemesis pulls a non-STARS member from a hiding spot. So he pulls them out silently. Well, here is how he grabs a STARS member. So the Nemesis will growl his signature STARS line from Resident Evil 3. It's a really cool detail, and one that's sure to make Resident Evil fans squeal with glee. The penultimate detail for today's video can be found in Hitman 1. During the Paris level, you can make your way to the bathroom and find an invitation to the Iago auction. The invitation even has a QR code printed on it that, if you scan using your mobile phone, will show that it does indeed grant you access to the auction on the upper floor. It's pretty cool. So the final detail for today's video comes from the ever-entertaining Natural Selection 2. We've already covered some hilarious hidden dialogue whilst playing the Marine tutorial, and even more funny dialogue can be heard when playing the Alien Commander tutorial. After placing a spore in the hydro analysis, if you decide to then ignore the narrator's instruction and instead follow the little gorge around, this will happen.
Don't worry about what the gorge is doing, you have your own tasks to deal with. Quit looking at the damn gorge, I'm trying to teach you stuff. Clearly, the gorge is very busy right now and doesn't need you staring at them. Can't you see you're bothering the gorge? The gorge is asking you politely to leave. The gorge wants you to do your job, which is that way. Okay, you know what? I'm using my tutorial voiceover authority to grant the gorge special cloaking powers. Try following them now. Fine. Your gorge watching senses are quite sharp, I'll give you that. Now can we please get on with the tutorial? I don't think the gorge likes you very much. Not like they can hurt us in here, though. Oh no! No! Stop them! Do you realize what you've done? Why couldn't you have just done the tutorial like a normal person? You've doomed us all.
So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter eggs, secrets, and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. A big thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.